Lewanna, and I'm here to talk about the issue of immigration. Immigration has been a topic of debate for years now, with some calling for walls on our borders and tougher immigration laws, and some argue that this nation is built on immigrants. In this video, we'll identify some stereotypes about immigrants and see how they are used to justify it and evaluate whether or not these claims are valid. A common stereotype we hear about immigrants is that they are stealing jobs from Americans, leaving many Americans unemployed.
But Durbin's statement ignores the fact that the inflow of all this cheap immigrant labor hurts Americans who actually will do those jobs that Durbin turns his nose up at. Here's how my radio callers reacted to his comments today.
I was in a position where I desperately needed a job. And I went around to these locations that Dick said were only Hispanics, like in the restaurants, for example, in the kitchen. And I couldn't even get my foot in the door.
I've got 38 years experience in heavy demolition, and I've got turned down for 3 jobs because I don't speak Spanish.
In this clip, Laura Ingram makes the argument that immigrants are coming into our country and taking jobs that we Americans could do. So, is there any truth to this belief that they are stealing our jobs? Here is some perspective of what is really happening.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in working on a dairy farm by chance?
Not right now.
It's not my kind of job.
Yeah, I don't know about the farm, man.
Okay.
I did that when I was younger, and I don't want to do that again.
I'm a little skeptical about them kicking and stuff. So.
Quiero preguntarle si querían trabajar en una lechería.
Sí, hay trabajo mañana mismo.
¿Sí?
Sí.
¿De dónde vienen?
Yo de Puerto Rico.
As shown in the previous clip, the Americans refused to do the job on the dairy farm, but the only one that was willing to work was the guy from Puerto Rico. This shows that they are not stealing jobs, but is taking up jobs that are not desirable to Americans. Even if the Americans would take the jobs, they will most likely ask for much higher pay that the owners could afford. Another common stereotype we hear about immigrants is that they refuse to assimilate and is changing our country for the worse. Clip Tucker Carlson from Fox News make the argument that immigrants is changing America for the worse by not speaking English at home and bringing their own culture to America.
Recently, we told you on this program about the wave of demographic change that has transformed the city of Hazleton, Pennsylvania. In the year 2000, Hazleton was less than 2% Hispanic. Today, thanks to mass immigration, Hazleton is majority Hispanic. More than half of the residents there speak a language other than English at home. Now, we got those numbers from a recent piece in National Geographic, which quoted lifelong Hazleton residents as saying they no longer recognized their own hometown.
Also look at actual facts in order to determine if this criticism is true. Look at this graph. According to this graph, when an adult immigrant first comes to America, 82% does not speak English. But over the years, that number goes down. This shows that they are trying to assimilate but needs time to learn and practice English. Plus, no one gets English right away. Is that people no longer recognize their own town because of all the immigrants. But is there anything wrong with that? Most people in America have a mix of culture of where they or their family is from, and American culture. And knowing more than one culture is so much better than just one. Take me for an example. I'm an ABC and I love Christmas, but I also celebrate Chinese New Year's. This is really like living the best of both worlds because I get not only one present on Christmas, I also get money on Chinese New Year's. So there is nothing wrong with having different cultures. Resentment towards immigrants is not a new thing. It has been going on as long as immigrants have been coming into this country. For example, during the California Gold Rush, a lot of Chinese immigrants came to America in hopes to prosper, but they were faced with the same stereotypes today, such as stealing our jobs. However, this widespread belief that was caused by Bret Hart's poem called Chinese Heathen that portrayed the Chinese as sneaky, dishonest, cheap, and evil. This compelled people to resent the Chinese and even excluded them from America by the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882. Similar to today, the stereotype was unfair because they were not stealing jobs but was taking jobs no one wanted to do. In this record, it shows the total opposite of the stereotype I said before, with Chinese being far more better workers than other nationalities. What we should have learned from this lesson is that immigrants is not as bad as the news portrays them, but in fact, they are good for this country. If we would have learned this lesson before, we wouldn't have been a great country if it wasn't for the immigrants today.